Bobby Jinks as their closer because with the scouting reports that it is a jumbo closer, a second overhand delivery. This guy can pitch up to 93 to 98 mile an hour fastball, but he's going to have a really great season with these Boston Red Sox. Let's go on to their hitting. We've covered the pitching, now it's on to their hitting. Let's talk about the guys that everybody's been talking about, Adrian Gonzalez and Carl Crawford. Okay, so let's talk about Adrian Gonzalez. That is Tim's pick for the AL MVP this season. Over the past couple of after the past couple of years, he had a dominating season with the past 3 years with the Padres. 30 home runs, and then in 2009 he had 40. Tim, is this guy going back to a potential 40 home run hitter?
I don't see a way he doesn't hit 40. I mean, I think this is... Yeah, I think he will hit 40 home runs this year because I think the biggest key is the fact that this guy is moving from a huge park in Petco to a hitter-friendly park in Boston. Being hitter-friendly, I should say, for left-handed hitters, I think the average will improve. I think the hitting will improve. He's hitting with other better players around him, so the RBIs will go up because there'll be people on base. I mean, to me, Adrian Gonzalez is almost a too easy pick to win MVP because I think everything's going to improve for this guy. I think he has great stuff, hitting-wise and everything like that. I think the biggest question is going to be, can David Ortiz protect him in that lineup? If David Ortiz can't protect him and Adrian Gonzalez doesn't see pitches, then the Red Sox are going to have to go out and get someone else. I think that's the biggest key for me, but I think Adrian Gonzalez is a monster year.
Yeah, I think Adrian Gonzalez is going to have a great year. He had 31 home runs last season. He's going to have a great bounce back. I have him hitting maybe 39 home runs. Richard, what do you think about that? How many home runs do you see him hitting this year?
I mean, moving from Petco to Fenway is almost like going from a baseball field to a softball field. I mean, I can see Adrian Gonzalez hitting in the mid-40s and probably winning AL MVP. I really like this guy a lot. Even coming off the shoulder injury, I think this guy can hit 45 home runs.
Yeah. Then you also have another key guy, Carl Crawford, Mr. Stolen Base champion, pretty much I like to call him. How many stolen bases and how well will he produce with his Boston Red Sox squad?
Well, I think with the Red Sox squad, he might not be asked to steal quite as much because he has better hitters around him. That's not to take away from what the Rays had, but the Red Sox have a stacked lineup, stacked pitching, which is why they're so good. I mean, looking for me, I think he'll steal somewhere about 40, 45, and I could see in the home run category about 24 home runs for him this year, and somewhere around 90, 95 RBIs.
Yeah, Carl Crawford, he's been quoted many times saying he doesn't want to bat at the top, he wants to bat somewhere in the middle of the order so he doesn't have to steal as much. So I'll say 37. That's a pretty weird number, but 37 stolen bases. The power, I think it'll stay the same, probably 18 to 20 home runs, like 90 RBIs. He's going to be solid. He's going to be a solid guy. The only thing that I'm kind of bummed out about is that his speed's going to be kind of, I wouldn't say wasted in left field, but his athleticism, we won't get to see it as much as we usually would, like he was playing center field for the Red Sox.
Yeah, but having to play off that monster, his baseball IQ is going to be tested, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I just think it'd be smart to put a guy coming off an injury-prone season, Jacoby Ellsbury in left field, and having Crawford in center, but
I think that's a good point.
Yeah. What were we going to say, Richard?
I guess we'll see how Crawford plays and how Jacoby plays, too.
Yeah, Carl Crawford, 19 home runs, 90 RBI season. I actually have about, like what Tim said, maybe, well, I'm predicting he's going to have maybe 40 whole stolen bases this year. I mean, with him, he's a key part to that outfield for this team. On to their other outfielders, just to get off track with the infield. J.D. Drew, he's a good piece, but he's been injured somewhat. Will J.D. Drew have another somewhat of a good season like he had last season? I mean, 22 home runs, 68 RBIs. He had the average last season. Is he another 20? Is he gonna have hit 25 home runs this season?
Well, being a Phillies fan, I'm not a huge fan of J.D. Drew because of what he did. That's another story, though. I see him hitting somewhere around, I'm not sure, I think 20 home runs with about 80 some RBIs. I think he's getting older, but he won't have as much counted on him this year either.
I mean, his production is going to depend on how many games he plays and how healthy he is. I mean, they got a young guy, not Josh Reddick, Ryan Kalish, who can step in and play some games. They also got Donald McDonald. Yeah, and Josh Reddick, too. But, I mean, J.D. Drew, when the Red Sox got this guy from the Dodgers, he was a solid 20 home run, 100 RBI guy. I only see him hitting like 15 home runs this season with about 75, 77 RBIs.
Yeah. Steven Drew is his younger brother. I think who is the dominant Drew? Steven or JD?
JD.
I have to go with JD because he's played longer, but Steven is definitely, they play different positions, so it's kind of hard to judge, but I like Steven Drew a lot too.
I see Steven Drew every day pretty much when it's baseball season because I live out here in Arizona. Watching the Diamondbacks, I'm going to be really much paying attention to Steven Drew, being a fan of his. But the dominating Drew is going to be JD. On to their center fielder, Jacoby Ellsbury. This guy, injury. Is this guy going to play a full season this year? Is he going to be healthy to play a full season for Boston this year?
Richard, can you answer that one first? Give me a second.
With Jacoby, I like Jacoby. I just think he's, I mean, I don't want to say overrated. That's not the word, but he has a lot more hype than his skill shows. I mean, this guy doesn't really have that much power. He's a speed demon, blazing speed. I can see 50 steals, maybe, depending on how well he recovers from his injuries. But I see single-digit home runs, probably around 40 RBIs, with about 45 to 50 stolen bases.
Yeah, I always thought throughout this whole thing last year he was ranked with the top 10 in ESPN fantasy. I think he's the most overrated player, or one of the most overrated players in America. I do. I think looking at that, the average should go up. Obviously from 192, he should stay more healthy. And what they need him to do this year is just get on base, maybe steal some bases, but don't hurt the team. That's what they need him to do. Don't try and do too much.
Yeah. Jacoby Ellsbury at 09 had a bomb of a season. 70 stolen bases out of this guy. I mean, that was beast. That was a beast mode season. 8 home runs, 60 RBIs in 09. In 2010, 0 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 1.92 batting average. I mean, do you think he's going to be... is he going to have, another 40 stolen base season?
Yeah, I could see at least 40, maybe 50. It depends how much they need him to do and whether they bat him first or Crawford or even Dustin Pedroia is a possibility, I guess. I don't see that, but it depends what they need out of him, who's producing in the lineup. A lot of things depend really on what David Ortiz does.
Yeah, 50 stolen bases is pretty doable, but I see 40s.
Yeah, I mean, last season, Jacoby Ellsbury was talking about getting traded to the Padres for Gonzalez, but that wasn't to go. Is Jacoby Ellsbury the guy to go at the deadline?
I don't think so. I mean, I can't see what else this team needs. Really, I mean, they need a catcher. That's on your face, by the way. They need a catcher and potentially a shortstop. But I don't think they're going to trade him. He's still really young. He has a lot of value to a team. I don't think they would trade him. Maybe some minor league prospects if they need something, but they're not going to move him.
Yeah. And then off to Mike Cameron. Sorry to cut you off there, Richard. But we already spent a lot of time on Jacoby, so we're going to hop right into Mike Cameron. Mike Cameron, this guy, his first season with Boston last season, 4 home runs, 15 RBIs. He's an average hitter. He had a .259 average last season. How well will he do this season?
He's going to be the 4th outfielder, so I'm not sure how much he's going to be playing. I think he's like 38 or something. I think the numbers are starting to decline. It just depends how much he plays.
Yeah, I like Mike Cameron. I think he's probably going to end up being traded. He's just old. Pretty solid 4th outfielder, though.
Yeah. Not much to talk about Mike Cameron, except he's going to be, like what Tim said, could be a fourth outfielder. On to their catcher's position. Gerard Saltalamacchia. We're trying to get him on the show for a quick interview. He agreed, but we have to get it through PR. This guy coming over from the Texas Rangers, is this the guy that the Red Sox should have, or do they need to get another catcher?
You know, he was a top prospect. He was the biggest piece in the Mark Teixeira trade when he got traded to the Braves, and he didn't work out in Texas. But like I was reading an article somewhere yesterday, he's only 25, so calling him a bust is still pretty early. That being said, though, he's not going to be this Joe Mauer-esque catcher, but they don't need him to be. They need him to call a good game and then not kill them at the plate.
Yeah, I think Jared Saltalamacchia will do all right. I think he's a decent catcher for them to have this season. He had trouble throwing the ball back to the mound, which is kind of an odd thing to have trouble with. But I think he'll do all right. Maybe a 250 average, 11 to 13 home runs in the 50 RBI range.
Yeah. Last season, this guy was terrible. Like 4 hits last season, 2 RBIs, and a .167 average. There is a free agent guy I really want to talk about, even though I don't know if the Red Sox will pursue this guy, but with Boston, with Gerard Saltalamacchia, and I don't know who their backup catcher is.
Jason Varitek.
Yeah, Jason Varitek. I totally left out on him. But do you think this team should pursue Benji Molina?
He actually said he's going to retire.
He's retired for now. He's not officially retired.
Yeah, I can see them going after him. That's an interesting name. I think if Saltalamacchia is a good enough fielder, which, like you said, he's had some issues, but if he can work those out, I'm not sure the Red Sox feel a need to bring in a guy like Benji.
Yeah, I don't think Benji Molina is really a guy they really need to go after right now. Saltalamacchia is gonna call a pretty decent game. Veritek's a pretty solid backup, I guess.
Yeah, and we have 2 other main players, and then we're gonna wrap this up. Dustin Pedroia, and we also have Kevin Youkilis to get to. Okay, so last season, Pedroia had his troubles until it came to a game with the Giants where a ball bounced off his foot. He had a broken foot. Will he have a great season?
He's not going to win MVP again this year, but I think Dustin Pedroia should have a bounce-back year to the point where he hits, 295 with 16 home runs and, the Dustin Pedroia type season. And I think he should steal about 15 bases.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I have him doing. Mid to high 290s average, about 15 home runs, steal 15 to 17 stolen bases. A Dustin Pedroia-like season, yeah.
Yeah. I really like Dustin Pedroia. He's coming out of Arizona State, being a huge Arizona State baseball fan. I think Pedroia is going to have a great season. That's like pretty much the only Red Sox I like besides Papelbon. So I hope Pedroia is healthy and is ready for the season. And on to third base, and to wrap up this video, we got Kevin Youkilis. How beast will this guy go this year? After having a thumb problem over the past couple of seasons, will he have a 40 home run season or maybe a 30 home run season?
Well, he's never been someone to have a 40 home run season. But, he's a great piece. As your number 1 first baseman, he wasn't a great piece necessarily. But to be the third baseman on this team, moving back there, we'll see how he does fielding. But home run-wise, he should go back. As long as he plays a normal amount of games, I could certainly see this guy hitting 35 is a lot. 28 to 32 home runs, somewhere in that area.
Yeah, Youkilis going back to third base, I think he'll do pretty good there. I could see a 30 home run season, 105 RBIs, a high 280, maybe a 290 average. Gonna have another good Kevin Youkilis season.
So there you guys go. We have our preview of the Boston Red Sox. Once again, we'd like to thank Daniel now for coming on our show. Thank you so much for your time on that interview, bro. We'll hope to have you back on the show sometime, maybe in the near future. Gerard Saltalamacchia, we have to go through PR until we can have him on the show, so check out for that. I'm Justin, that's Tim, and that's Richard. We'll talk to you guys later. We have the Yankees that are coming up next. We also have the Phillies, the Giants, and the Rangers. So we'll talk to you guys later, and have a great weekend, and enjoy baseball coming this Thursday. Peace.